Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for what promises to be a very special video today. As you can see, I've got the Deluxe Black Series Lord Starkiller to give you an early look at. This is a fantastic figure, one that the community is highly anticipating, and in my opinion, this has potential to be figure of the year for Star Wars The Black Series. So without further ado, we'll take a look at the packaging and move on to the figure itself and everything that it comes with. So, as you can see for the packaging, standard Black Series affair of which we're all very familiar with. This is a slightly larger box due to the figure being a deluxe release. As you can see, we've got the Gaming Greats foil sticker there, which is very nice. Gaming Greats figures have become some of my favourite over the years, and this one is no exception to that. We've got the name of the character in the right hand side along with number 30. This is the 30th figure in the Gaming Greats line. If you can believe it, we're getting some real headway with Gaming Greats just lately, and I love to see it. It also denotes this is from Star Wars The Force Unleashed across the banner there, which is coloured in blue. Moving over to the side, you can see that very cool mural artwork of Lord Starkiller there, which is then of course repeated on the back of the box along with the Force Unleashed logo and a brief description about the character. So taking a look at the details on offer with this release, as you can see already it's a fantastic looking figure, a fan favourite character finally brought to life in the 6-inch Black Series. We'll start from the top and we'll just work our way down the figure, taking a look at what's on offer. So you can see his helmet there, there's lots of sculpted scratches in the top. It's almost done in a two-tone plastic, so the centerpiece is in cast silver and then the face shields at the side along with the detail on the side of the head there are actually painted, and you can see some more of those scratches on the cheek. He also has this nicely sculpted braid, which is a soft plastic, so it will move out of the way for your various poses. He's got his notable armour across the top of his chest and his shoulders, and as you can see there are lots of nice scratches there sculpted in to show all the different battle damage from the battles that this guy's fought in. These silver parts here on the shoulders and the chest are also cast in a silver plastic. Now I know that is a bone of contention for a lot of people in the community, but it's not something that disappoints me, as I think if these were painted you would struggle to see some of those very fine sculpted details. We've also got the black undersuit and the corset piece around his body there. As you can see, coming down the arms, we've got a very Darth Vader-like suit, which is what we would expect to see on this guy, followed by the very scientific looking gauntlets, I suppose. You've got different wires and pipes coming out of them, and then down to the gloves, which have got the bladed fingers, very nicely detailed. These are a soft plastic, so there's no danger in breaking them. Hot Toys released this version of Starkiller a while back, and when I had that in hand I noticed that the clawed hands were very fragile and very sharp, so it's nice to see that Hasbro have taken a different approach with this figure. Really nicely detailed. So we're just going to have a look at Starkiller's belt in a lot of detail now. This is an area that's very iconic to the character design, so I just want to spend a little bit of time to talk about this. As you can see, we've got the belt box there, which is very reminiscent of Vader's control unit, with the various buttons and switches sculpted. But then what we're all eager to see are the lightsaber hilts that he's got on display. So we start with his Sith Apprentice hilt, which I believe is the only lightsaber hilt that's a carry forward from a previous figure, although we'll determine that more closely in the comparison section. But that is very nicely detailed. And then we move round to what is more reminiscent of Ram Kota's lightsaber, or even Starkiller's Jedi lightsaber seen in some of the vision sections of the game. We then also have a brand new sculpted hilt for Darth Vader, as this is more reminiscent of the Revenge of the Sith prop than any of the original trilogy ones, if memory serves me correctly, and it's much more slender in proportion to previous Black Series Darth Vader hilts. And as you can see, all these lightsabers have D-rings at the bottom of the hilt, of which they attach to the belt with. We've then also got a brand new sculpted hilt for Darth Maul. Again, this is thinner, more slender, more accurately proportioned, and then the details have been picked out in red. It is also worth noting that all of these lightsabers are cast in silver plastic and not painted silver, which is unfortunate, but this is something that we are going to have to come to terms with in the Black Series, at least for the meantime. So this is what we've got to deal with, but it by no means detracts from this fantastic release. And then finally, we've got this very peculiar black tube looking lightsaber hilt. I don't actually know who this belongs to. It's always a very peculiar one for me in regards to this character, but if you know what this is and you know any more details about it, feel free to drop a comment below. And then as you can see there's one of those aforementioned hoops that the lightsabers attach onto, and just demonstrating that really quickly for you with Starkiller's Sith Stalker lightsaber there. Just take a quick look at that. It's got those lovely wraps around the handle and those very menacing prongs close to the emitter. So I'm very grateful to Hasbro for including all those lightsabers. It's really great to see, and I'll show you those in a little more detail later in the video. Taking a look at the legs now for Starkiller, as you can see once again, these are very, very reminiscent, almost identical in fact, to Darth Vader's undersuit, which is incredibly accurate to the model, so it's no surprise that the details have been picked out on this figure. This is very promising for the Black Series going forward, as I know a lot of people, myself included, are very tired of seeing those old legs used on Darth Vader figures. So the 50th anniversary of A New Hope is right around the corner, and it would be no surprise if we see a newly tooled Darth Vader figure then, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. You can also see the boot details that are on offer there. Very simple but very effective. And then another key feature for this release is the soft goods on this guy have been wired, so you can pose them dynamically. There's a wire that runs down each of the smaller tabards on the front, and you can bend those in a similar manner to previous releases such as the Ronin and the Bespin Dual Darth Vader. And just to cover the horrible tag that we know these guys unfortunately have to come with, this does come out of the box actually taped down to the inside of this tabard, which is really cool. But I've taken it off just because I wanted to see how well it moves around the fabric, and as you can see, you can get that tucked in there really nicely and manipulate it around with the wire, so that when you actually have it posed from the front, you can't tell that it's there. So that's really great, and it's much better than having it on the rear of the tunic as well, as it would definitely be an eyesore. But this piece has got a wire running down it and along the bottom, just like the other pieces, and you can pose that around and get some cool dynamic shots. This is definitely Hasbro's best attempt at a wired soft goods piece. I was not initially impressed with them on the Ronin, and then due to the size of Vader's cape, that was a little disappointing, but I'm much more happy with them here. I would much have preferred these to just be regular soft goods, as full accuracy to the game model would have these be very worn and tattered, but it is also nice to have that dynamic posing ability, and having the cape flared out in certain shots really does sell this guy. as the menacing Sith Lord that he truly is. So it's great to see, and I look forward to seeing Hasbro improve this and utilise it in more creative ways later down the line. Taking a look at the back of the figure now, just to finish off on the details. As you can see, we've got a lot of those mechanical elements in his spinal area, no doubt other parts keeping him alive, keeping him Palpatine's puppet, I suppose. But there are some details there on the back of the collar which have been picked out in sculpt, and it's also got some red paint detail, which is nice to see. There's also some silver paint that's been mixed in on the column sections, going from the base of the spine up towards the back of the neck. And as previously mentioned, we've got the hair braid there, which is a soft plastic and can be moved out of the way. Unfortunately, no articulation on that, just for those that wondered. And speaking of course of articulation, let's take a look at what this guy brings to the table. This is of course a modern Black Series release, and as such we've got a ball joint in the base of the neck and the top of the head, which gives fantastic range of movement and really lets you get this guy into some menacing looking poses. We've got ball hinges at the shoulders, along with butterfly joints. These shoulder pads are on the O-ring system, so they get out of the way very easily and don't hinder any articulation. We've also got a hinge and swivel at the elbow there. Again, common practice for Black Series figures, but very nice to see. And then the wrists are on the ever popular new ball joint. Lovely to see, lots of range of movement there, not hindered by the gauntlet or these wires whatsoever. Fantastic range of motion. The upper torso is on a ball joint. The hips are on ball hinges. No thigh swivel unfortunately, but the hip joint does have some side to side motion. This range does seem to be increasing with each Black Series release just lately, so whilst the thigh swivel is not returned on any new sculpted parts, it is nice to see us getting a little more movement. We've got a hinge and swivel at the knee. I do believe there is a boot swivel there too, although it might be a little stiff fresh out of the packet like this one. And then we've also got the ball hinged ankles that rock side to side. And now we'll take a look at the accessories that come with Lord Starkiller. As you can see, I've removed all the lightsabers from his belt, just so I can showcase those again. But we'll start with the one in his hand, which is the Sith Stalker hilt. That's got the lightsaber blade plugged in. It fits into the hand very nicely. It's very secure and looks very, very cool on display. And then something of which is arguably very unnecessary, but very nice to see. All the lightsaber hilts we've previously looked at today all include a red lightsaber blade. This is excellent. It's not something Hasbro needed to do, but it's very nice they went that extra mile. Should you want Starkiller wielding any of these, or if you want to use these with other characters in your display, you can do. And it's worth noting that the Jedi Saber, the Sith Apprentice lightsaber and Vader's lightsaber all have different blades compared to the other two, which are angled specifically for the angled emitter for a seamless fit. Starkiller finally includes two interchangeable hands. You get two force wielding hands and two lightsaber holding hands with this guy. Fantastic to see. I'm really impressed with Hasbro's efforts to give us more interchangeable hands in the line, and I do hope it continues further. So you can of course have this guy dual wielding his lightsabers, bringing down Star Destroyers with the Force. It's entirely up to you. Your display is at your fingertips with all the various options that come with this guy. Now it is worth mentioning, the hand holding his lightsaber I've noticed is a wider grip compared to the other one. So the left hand is bigger than the right ever so slightly. I suppose that's to accommodate the different size lightsaber hilts and allow you to use them more effectively. And for those that wish to see it, here's a quick comparison with the previous Sith Apprentice version of Starkiller. I'm sure these are going to look fantastic side by side on the display, and hopefully Hasbro sees fit to give us some more characters from the Force Unleashed games going forward. And briefly before I forget, the Sith Apprentice lightsaber hilt is actually a new sculpt as compared to the one on the left there. You'll see that this guy had to have a small D-ring sculpted to it so that it fits the new one's belt, whereas the old one attaches via a peg. And that brings us to the end of this review, so thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, let me know what you think of this figure in the comments, and follow me over on Instagram, as at the time of this review going live, there'll be a full HD gallery of this guy over there for you to enjoy. Thanks for watching once again, guys. I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always.